Lyrics that follow are something like this. The way that we want is what we become. So please pay attention while I show you some of what's about to happen. And now here's the really good one. Here's the really good part. Not that that wasn't great. Check out the second part. Peekaboo. I know what you do because I do it too. And then they go for the chorus again. Hands on your face and cover up your eyes. Don't look until I signal. Peekaboo. Weird guy laughing. Synthesizer. Peekaboo. And they do it again. It's a pretty sweet bridge. Do 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 do. Laugh if you want to, or say you don't care. If you cannot see it, you think it's not there. It doesn't work that way. Peekaboo. And then they go back to the first part. There's only one other lyric, and I forget where it is. It's somewhere in there. And it is the final lyrics, wherever they are. Oh no, I said it. I said it. We're all good. We're all caught up. Homework. Go check that out. Hey, and while you're at it, there's a really messed up but fun music video that they put out as well for a song called Beautiful World. You're gonna like that one. They actually did a couple of pretty decent YouTube available live videos and not live videos of that particular song. And you're gonna have to help me out here. I can't tell if that song is being sarcastic or because it feels sarcastic. And the visuals of the official music video lead me to think that there's a lot of hypocrisy and hyperbole, humor. You decide. So that's Devo. Peekaboo. Listen, buddy. I don't have a dog. I don't have a child. The last time that I hit somebody was, God, it almost happened a few times in high school, but I want to say middle school. Hit a guy with a hockey stick who was checking me on the asphalt during a game of, what is it called, roller hockey? Hockey on asphalt. But none of us had rollerblades. He shoved me pretty hard, and I was at my limit. I was already so angry all the time anyway. I say that like it's truly in the past. I acknowledge the anger. It's a part of things. I'm not shunning it. Some pretty serious mold grows only in darkness, unattended and undisturbed. Good Lord. Good Lord, this thing rides. Okay. Peekaboo. I've got anger too. And I can see it in you. And we are at the trail, baby. We made it. Look at us. Who's better than us? Who's smarter than us? 37 minutes. So I learned, I'll clue you in on this too, because you've already seen this if you are following the channel, probably, that the storage on my phone chops up my exploits on the camera, the video player. It chops it up a little. I'm not complaining. Just saying that I've now resolved that weird thing that was happening where I was like, hey, why? We're still rolling. It's been more than 30 minutes. I wonder if that's a memory thing. That's weird. Because last time it kind of kicked me out around 30 minutes. Yeah, all that's in the past. I now know I can record undisturbed, in theory, for a dang old didgeridoo long period of time. As long as the memory keeps rolling. Man, that's pretty. However, my storage, my gallery, will chop things up into 33 minutes and 7 seconds. Or 8 seconds. Maybe I can go into the options and change that. I would rather not splice these up into chunks. I'd like it if you could just be with me on a damn run. On a dang old run. This was almost a kid-friendly podcast. I dropped an F-bomb a few minutes ago. Almost had it. Caught between total freedom of expression while alone in the semi-wilderness. And by that I mean where at least nobody is within 100 feet of me. Caught between freedom of expression and self-censorship. Goals, dreams, drives, and intentions. You want to go backwards for a sec? I wonder if you can see those ripples of wind. Can you see? Because I can see. The grass is behaving like water would if you dropped a pebble in your water glass and the ripples just kept going. Of course, because of the topography and the different types of grasses and the different densities of grass, there's a lot of breaks in these ripples. A lot of breaks. So what I'm seeing is probably more characteristic of damn, that was nice. Of shallow water than deep water. You get down deep enough and you stop being able to really see the ripples as much, I think, right? Unless you really get into some stuff. Wasn't that a thing in Finding Nemo? Where there were these ocean currents that were really strong and powerful, and the stoner turtle guy liked to ride in these currents that were like these hypercharged tubes just moving of very, very fast moving water you could slip into and slip out of and catch a ride on like a monorail or something. I believe, if I remember correctly, they were kind of distinctive looking. I've never seen air go fast enough that I can see it, but I have seen clouds move. I've never been underwater and noticed differences in currents visually. It's even hard to feel sometimes. Just like it's kind of hard to detect which direction the wind is coming from sometimes. Am I going to come back home soon? Or am I going to do a full-on standard longish circuit? The thought that I had about that just now was, well, is there anything more to say? It's not about that. It's not about the speaking. It sounds like it is. At some point I'll relax a little bit. You gotta forgive me. Not quite comfortable on this platform yet. I don't think I'll really see my speech slow that much until I get a good enough webcam mount situation established that will allow me to just go places and not really worry about head bobbing or keel hauling the poor viewer. I found for myself this is good peripheral watching. Not something that I want to focus on too much, particularly when I get super violent with the camera jerking and everything. I got a tinge of the last night when I was watching that content from the day's run. Hey, So I took a run I recorded it, waited a day or two, and then we waited a couple of days, and then I ran and did the bulk of the test series basically all at once. The first 10 episodes or so. Right around episode 10, I got the webcam going. And after a bit of a spell, after a few days, I started up again. I ran, I believe, the day before yesterday and recorded it. I ran yesterday and recorded it. That was a 3-parter, believe it or not. Oh, the guts. Ooh, is this about to become a maybe run? Or an uh-oh run? Ooh. Could be gas. Let me just check in. I think we're okay. Well, and then we're here recording today, so we're on it. There's a part of me that delights in the jank factor, and a part of me that wants viewers to be here, and less viewers are going to be here if they can't see anything, or if it hurts them bodily to visually attend to the splendor of my circumstances. Let's see if we can't get a little closer to this bird here. Hello, little bird. They have these very, very red chests, or red splotches on their chest. Can you see? I'll just freeze for a sec. You see him? Huh? There's a lizard down there somewhere. Oh, or a gopher. Anyway, bye, bird. Good luck with the fam and the lizards. Ooh. Wonder if I caught that. Everyone's saying hey. Aw, it's so good. You know, you stop to see a bird and then a friggin' jackalope comes at you. That's how I'm going to selectively parse that memory. You get bunny rabbits, you get extra birds, shoot. Oh, you know they have red on the wing too. I wonder if it's not that the breast is red, but the inner wing is, and they just fold their wings in such a way. These guys are going. Well, you can't see the moon, but it is directly in front of your vision right now. We've got a good upside down looking crescent. You guys are awesome. Wow. Hey, anyway, we're back. Remember how angry I was earlier? Jesus. And that's kind of another part of that thought that I had when I was thinking, do I want to keep going? I was kind of thinking, I wonder if there's anything that would just be kind of nice to bring up around anger and that kind of thing while we're out here. Since we've been on it for a little while, I kind of stumble on subjects and spend some time on them. I was reserved. I wasn't sure that me being out here would translate to me having any kind of a presence, to me having what podcasters seem to have, which is this infinite well of material to draw from. And a lot of them are doing it while being funny. That's what improv comedy is, right? You draw from the well and it just happens with other people. That's crazy. But for me, I'm all alone. I don't have anybody to bounce back off of. I hear people talk. Hey, we saw this the other day, but it's still there, so I'm just gonna... I made mention of it last time that I hung out over here. Isn't that pretty sweet? It's kind of sweet, man. Oh my god, it's like an avatar symbol. I think somebody was trying to go Fire Nation over here. Huh. Is that in bad taste? Because this is California and we burned down a couple of times the last few years? You decide. Ooh, we can walk backwards. Just for a little bit longer to end this part, and then I can make a decision about whether to continue or not. Do I have anything about anger to say more? So much. That's the thing. The well is infinite. We could talk until the end of the world. As time goes on, what I think is going to happen is that my words become more meaningful rather than me just spewing, or there's just going to be a happier marriage between the two run men that you get when you're listening in. I do speak on things that are substantial to me. I hope that I'm offering things that are helpful to you. Yeah, we saw deer in that field a couple of times. You know, and I recently learned that I have a zoom function on this thing. So the next time that I see a deer or something that I'm not sure you can see or not, I might enact the zoom. It's not a strong zoom. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, body check-in. Calves are definitely still like sore because they, you know, the kind of soreness where they feel great until I move them, like they're a little stiff, but the sensations come when I raise my toes, raise my pads. You know, anytime that I have my body weight in such a way as to stretch my Achilles tendon, it just sings to me, but not in a bad way. And this is all these runs in a row, by the way. Oh, and also my foot fissure, my right foot, didn't look super great yesterday. I put a Band-Aid on it for a few hours. Well, I took a shower, it got clean. I put a Band-Aid on it to keep it clean for a few hours so that I could, you know, wander around the house. And then did the weights, took the cold shower with the Band-Aid off, you know. Let's go. And by golly, we're looking pretty good, looking pretty solid. You know, I didn't feel, it felt like it was kind of open. Bringing my toes up or putting, you know, pressure on my body in such a way as to stretch the part of my foot out. Yeah, the seam wanted to get bigger when I did those motions. And I could feel that. Just like the feeling of having a really, really shallow cut. You know, you don't want to pull at it in such a way as to widen it or open it. It's not what you do with injuries. You just let them chill. You clean them. You make sure they're cool. Not too wet, not too dry. And then you're good to go. Eventually. You know, or not. So, in my neck of the woods, that felt fantastic. Okay, are we still recording? Yeah, I touched the screen on accident. These phones, they're tricky. Nobody's coming at me, that's good. From behind, I meant. Yeah. All right. Okay. You know something? You know, I got a decent-sized ping when, backwards running, just for a sec. Just because you just want to be aware of the vehicles that are around you in a 45 zone. What was I saying? Oh yeah, something came to my mind when I was thinking about that vast well that I have. I mean, we could talk forever. But I had something specific that came up when I asked myself, is there anything about anger that wants to be ventilated a little bit? And the answer, of course, after I just breathed like 3 times, was hell yeah. I've even had recent experiences. And I believe I appropriately journaled them. I'm talking about dreams. I was in REM sleep. I was in the type of sleep where they say you can experience emotions. I don't know what the latest science has to say on dreams, but here's something that I can tell you right now. I dreamt, this has happened a few times now, probably 3 times total. And all these times I'm thinking of, all these dreams that contained all this rage material, they took place within the last couple of months. Just airing out the anger. It's like, all right, I got it. I see it. I better learn to operate. And I better learn to develop that relationship, right? So, you know? I'm not going to get specific. My dreams are typically very personal when I'm not fighting zombies, which is often. And there's typically aggression, but not anger when it comes to fighting zombies. I'm with Jocko Willink. I think that you could reasonably, usefully separate the two out to an extent. So, and I wouldn't call it splitting hairs. But anyway, in one of these rage dreams, I did what I just told you about with the ticket. I was rage screaming. Thank goodness I didn't wake up screaming. I hope I wasn't screaming in my sleep. I don't think I was. The walls are paper in my house right now. And it's a great house. Wonderful house. Paper walls. There's no way I could have let out a significant fraction of what was happening in that dream. I was deafening myself. I was saying words too, but I can't remember what they were. It was just words of like, don't gaslight me, and you just don't even get it, what's going on, and I don't think that was there. Point was, I was wrathful, and I woke up and my body was stressed. That happens sometimes. Another time, I don't know where the hell this came from. Another time I was beating my hands against a car door, and it just wasn't doing it for me. I just couldn't hit the car hard enough with my balled up fists. I was trying. I was putting my back into it. I was putting everything into it. Screaming and crying and striking this car over and over. I must have done it 10 or 20 or 30 times. God, more than 10. Definitely more than 10. Probably 20. And it just wasn't enough. So this has got to be early memory stuff. Because baby's tantrum. And what I switched to was definitely more tantrum-like behavior. Even than that. I sank to my knees and brought all of my weight down on my hands and slammed my hands like hammer arms into the gravel that was at my knees. And I raised up my body and I just punished the dirt again. Punished the gravel again. And again and again. And then I woke up and I was stressed. And then I breathed and I was fine. So, my dreams don't always have that. They don't typically have that. You know, there's often a sense of this, that, and the other thing. Anxiety, a sense of adventure. There's all kinds of things in these dreams. It was interesting to me. I wouldn't characterize my sleeping, dreaming, emotional content as being predominantly any one or the other emotion, but for those dreams, it was just rage, rage, rage. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness that we aired it out, you know? Because what's the first thing you do when the anger burns itself out and you wake up and you're stressed out like that? If you want to. Oh, sure. Thank you. Hey, puppy. All right. Have a good one, guys. Well, what's the first thing that happens when you have a dream like that and you wake up? The first thing is like, whoa. Actually, for most people that I know, the first thing that would happen would have been shame. There would have been a shame reaction, like I shouldn't have gotten that worked up. What the hell? I was just dreaming. What the fuck is wrong with me? Judgment. You know? Yep, I get it. Not me. I was shameless as hell. Maybe not the first time, but I was watching the next time and I was like, oh, okay. I know what happens here. Let's pivot. So I pivot. I have tools with which to pivot. I ask questions. I hold my body in sensitive areas and concentrate on the feeling. I got some phrases that I'll say. Hey, I'm right here. It's all good. It's all good. This is not good or bad or anything. It was just showing me something. I'm listening. I'm hearing. I'm here with you. And I see you talking. We're here together. You're not alone. Little things like that. I'm holding this. I'm releasing this. I'm at eye level with this. All that stuff. You know, that can help. And it really did help. And that's not to mention the Wim Hof breathing. That really kicked things into gear. If you need a hard reset, at the vulnerable times in the morning, hey guys, good morning. Well, if you need that hard reset, I'd be very happy to go over it with you. I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but I've found great benefit in the Wim Hof technique, which is very similar to any number of diverse breaths. Some runners will use, focused, really powerful breathing. Would you like to know the technique? I don't know if I've ever actually said it on the podcast. Let's do it. Because at 3:30 in the morning, do this for increments. Because this is a cyclic thing. You can go for one cycle or many cycles. Every cycle builds on the last one, you see. But also taxes your system more. So there's typically a sweet spot. For me, the sweet spot is 4 or 5. Maybe 3 if I feel a little rushed and I feel like it's not that big a deal or whatever. But typically 4 is my magic number. And as time goes on, I see myself doing 5 and 6 more. Every cycle is like, 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes, maybe more. Particularly if you do them in quick sequence. I mean, don't take a break between the cycles. Better to just keep moving. That's what really compiles the effects. So, and by the way, there's not been one time it hasn't helped me. And again, I'm not saying that it uprooted the anger. It didn't. But I was so awash with my own power and with all the happy chemicals and all of this. It feels like exercise when you're doing it sometimes. There's this robust activity level and a deep relaxation that happens. That's coming from a guy who has a really interestingly difficult time relaxing comfortably. But every time I cycle ends, I'm always like, damn, that's good. I always want to do more every time that I finish a cycle. But after 4, 5, 6, 7 cycles, my face starts squinching up. My body is so like, oh God, we've been really working this for so long. You really know what you're doing, buddy? And I have a hard time increasingly managing the tension in my lips and my eyes more than anything else. But all that is aside, your experience might be different, but I will give you the tool. Disclaimer, I'm not Wim. I highly recommend, before you go on my word, I highly recommend you go to YouTube, type in those weird words that are his name, Wim, W-I-M, Hof, H-O-F. It's a damn weird name, and I like it. Yeah, type that in. You'll probably find a number of breathing tutorials. Most of them 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He hasn't done that many like records of doing this breathing, not for the full series of cycles, not in pure tutorial format, in that many incarnations. He's done a beginner's breath version, which is slower, and then like a kind of tougher, more stimulating, but not something for entry-level participants necessarily, tutorial as well. So, and I believe the beginner one, he's put the beginner one out in like 100 languages. Sometimes it's his voice, sometimes it's other folks. It's pretty cool. French and Spanish and what is that, Arabic? Is the spoken Arabic and the written Farsi? There's a lot of culture in that part of the world. I probably just condemned myself to death from like 5 different religions. Or sects of one religion. Jesus. As long as the Baha'is don't come for me. You know you done fucked up when the Baha'is come for you. My experience is that they're pretty peaceful, rocking people. Anyway, the hell was I talking about? The method. All right. I'm not going to do it. Although I kind of am doing it. Get comfy. Lay down probably. At least your first few times. Lay down comfortably on your back. Woo! If you can't lay down and you can only sit, fine. Just make sure you've got something to catch you if you lose your sense of balance. Because this shit's potent. What you're gonna do is this. You're gonna breathe really big in your belly and your chest. Inward. Big inhale. And then you let the exhale do itself. Don't worry about pushing it. It's easy to overmanage the exhale. A lot of us are pushers in this world. If you see yourself pushing, notice it. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to be totally empty of your air on the exhales. So, big belly, chest in,